All right, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Uh, this is gonna be probably a quick live stream, depending on who get up in here. It's probably gonna be quick. Who knows? Probably not gonna be so quick, But we're gonna see. This live stream is really about. Well, it's not really about. We could hit on some other topics too as people come in. But as far as right now, you're talking about how Dillian White is ducked by I guess everybody that that had or has a championship title. Um, and then we're going to cover, because we can't say that how he's ducked without saying both sides of the spectrum. There's two sides to every story. Everything can't just be not Dillian White's fault. Can't be. If you think things are like that, then that's your business. I'm not going to tell you how you should think and stuff like that, but I'm gonna give you some things to think about when it comes to whether or not Dillian White is ducked or not. And the reason why I thought it would be important to bring this conversation up is because that's a talking point around the boxing community. A lot of people are out here saying that because of Tyson Fury. I don't know what Tyson Fury said about, um, you know, not fighting Dillian White in these last couple days. But I know what he said leading up to, the Wilder second fight and the Wilder first fight. But needless to say, uh, that is a little of a conundrum there. But as far as I'm just sending these links out just in case one of the homies want to get on. That's all. So there we go. If any of y'all out there want to get on too, here it's in there too. Maybe somebody out there that has a valid or have valid points to bring up when it comes to the curious case of Dillian White. So from far as I can see, as far as when it comes to Dillian White, if people want to say that Dillian White is ducked by has been ducked by Deontay Wilder, and Tyson Fury is looking like he's about to duck Dillian White as well. Um, Come 2021 February or whenever the WBC officially calls the winner from Wilder and Fury to fight Dillian White. I'm gonna put it to you like this: White did have his opportunities to fight for a world title after getting whooped by Anthony Joshua. He had the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua, but people were out here saying that, hey, the amount of money that was offered to Dillian White wasn't enough. The time frame wasn't enough to fight him. But Anthony Joshua has fought since fighting Dillian White, has fought people last minute, last to notice. People were given more money than Dillian White was offered, but at the same time, as Dillian White wasn't in that position to dictate anything, whether or not it was over here in America, whether or not it was over there in the UK. If you want to talk about Dillian White competing with pay-per-view buys or stadium tickets, when it comes to Anthony Joshua, he's behind the power curve with that. The same thing with Tyson Fury. Those two guys have established their worth when it comes to fights over there in the UK on a mass scale, including having third party people come in and try and offer them, an alleged $80 million for Anthony Joshua to fight over there in Saudi Arabia, which that's not what Dillian White is getting. The numbers of Deontay Wilder and United States have been solidified. He's been doing very good numbers even before the Eric Molina fight. whether or not it's Fox, CBS, Showtime, HBO, whatever. He's been doing very good numbers. Yeah, you could say the fights for free, but and this and the third. But boxing in the U.S. hasn't been good in a sense. Besides a few fighters, so Deontay Wilder was actually doing very good numbers, competing with people in boxing. Whether or not it's Canelo, whether or not is whoever, he was competing with those numbers. His pay-per-view that he happened to do by himself with Louis King Kong Ortiz and Tyson Fury. Those did decent numbers. So when you start looking at Dillian Whyte and what's been going around here on Twitter and stuff like that, I'm just kind of like, people are not really thinking before they speak. You know, they're not thinking about the whole overall picture. You know, there's this thing that Tyson Fury's promoter want Dillian Whyte shoved aside. If I was Tyson Fury, I wouldn't want to fight Dillian Whyte either. Why would I want to fight Dillian Whyte when Anthony Joshua has all the rest of the fucking Infinity Gauntlet stones? So that would make me want to go over there. And if I was Tyson Fury, I would say, get your little ass out of the way. You easy work anyways. I'm going to go up over here and fight for this undisputed fight before somebody else takes the belts off. Well, happens. Well, I'm not saying they're going, it can, is going to happen, but it can happen. Takes all the belts from Anthony Joshua. Then they got to bring up some other bullshit. At least I could already have some type of rapport, or whatever you want to call that word is, with Anthony Joshua and his team and stuff like that, to where negotiations might not be all that bad. And then they have people out there looking to make that fight with Anthony Joshua outside of the UK. So there's more money being poured into that fight. So why would I want to go over here and fight Dillian Whyte over undisputed with all that money and then have to sit up over there? Who knows? Tyson Fury might not beat Wilder. AJ might not beat Pulev or Char or Usyk or whoever that's out there in the running for those for a shot at Anthony Joshua as a mandatory. So why would I want to wait when the date is right there, right after, if I happen to get past Deontay Wilder? So, you know, I wrote on the post that says it makes sense, but they need to do what they sign up to do or give up the belts. And the reason why I say that is when you sign on these dotted lines on with these you know, people who, you know, sanctioned bodies and stuff like that, there's rules and regulations that you have to abide by, or you got to give up those belts if you don't want to abide by them, right? So if I was a boxer and I had the championship belt, the number one headband, and they're telling me this and they're telling me that hey, it's okay if they tell me it's okay for to slide past Dillian Whyte and go and get this AJ fight, who the fuck am I to sit up over here and say, yeah, you know what, Dillian Whyte, I'm gonna give you your shot. Blah blah, you earned it. Blah blah, woo woo woo. That's my business. But it's also my business to sit up over here and say, why wait for one of us to lose and leave all this money on the table when I could just fight this guy? And then if you go down the yellow brick road, everybody knew from 2017 November who the WBC mandatory was. And I don't know how many times we got to cover this shit, but we all knew that, guess what? Dillian Whyte fought who? He fought Lucas Brown, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora, and Oscar Rivas. That's who he fought. That's who the fuck he fought. So that should try to show you that he was not worried about fighting Deontay Wilder. He was more worried about becoming a pay-per-view star in the UK. In which, if he would have went up over there and fought who he was supposed to fight, Dominic Breazeale, in 2018. In 2018, you fought Lucas Brown, a 40-year-old. You wasn't a dude just like you, a PED cheat, right? Oh, behind the power curve, right? Slow. Everybody knew, including your mama, including your husband, Dean Whyte, knew you was going to win. So why you fought him and then Joseph Parker, then Derek Chisora? Because you wanted to compete with Anthony Joshua numbers. But you were still turning down Anthony Joshua fights. And look who you fought. Instead of Anthony Joshua, nobody was giving you no goddamn $5 million to fight no damn Robert Bullionis, no Joseph Parker, and no Lucas Brown, and no Oscar Rivas. A guy that nobody knew who he was, Oscar Rivas, until he fought you. Yeah, Oscar Rivas was sitting up on the rankings. You fought him. You fought Oscar Rivas when he was 10th. And you over here crying about you number one. And you crying about you number one. Too many people out here don't even know the history of what's going on between these boxers, but sitting up over here running their mouth. Brown on Brown boxing, what's happening? Yeah, this Tyson Fury shit is ridiculous. You right? Christopher Jornet, what's happening? Story B-Man, what's happening, baby? Nobody wants to talk about that shit. I've seen so many comments of people. I've been asking people this. Where did you get your information for? What is your source of information with the boxing stuff? See, if you're going to say something about boxing on social media, right, in front of the whole fucking world, whether or not it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, right, you're going to have people out there that's going to correct you on where you went wrong at or add to what you're talking about. Whether or not you're wrong or right, they're going to add to it. You shouldn't be taking your fucking feelings about a particular particular boxer, and when you don't like what somebody else got to say, you start criticizing them. You start calling them out their damn name because you're so invested in an Edward Hearn, an Anthony Joshua, and a Dillian Whyte, or a Tyson Fury, or a Deontay Wilder. Soon as you don't like what somebody got to say, you want to start cussing them out? You want to start calling them out of their damn name? Are you a boxing fan or not? Why are you so invested that Dillian Whyte gets a shot, knowing now well he's going to get his clocked, his clock clean against Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua? So what's the big fucking ordeal about this guy getting a shot when he had damn near almost 2 years to figure it fucking out? Nobody, all you guys over here talking about Dillian Whyte this, talk about Dillian Whyte that. How about y'all do this? How about y'all go out there and do this? Start talking about everything can't be everybody else's fault. Everything in Dillian Whyte's career, I don't care who boxer, what his name is. Everything can't be everybody else's fault. Sometimes a bitch got to check themselves first. Sometimes a bitch got to check themselves first. And the bitch at hand is Dillian Whyte. Sometimes he got to check what the fuck he did in his career, in his fucking boxing career, to where he can say, why am I in the situation that I am in 2020 that I was in 2018? Shouldn't that be the correct course? Instead of blaming everybody else, how can you as a fighter correct your mistakes? I don't hear a lot of people talking about that. I don't care who it is. It's Terrence Crawford, Earl, who? Are you going to keep doing the same thing 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago that you did that you're going to do in 2020? Are you going to do the same thing that you did in 2020 and 2021? Are you going to keep fighting the same fighters? The same type of fighters? Are you going to keep fighting these journeymen? Are you going to keep fighting with boxers that nobody knows the name of, but gets put up in a high in these boxing commissions in the top 10, top 15 the same month? Are we going to keep doing this? But then you want to get up over here and people want to beg, always want to sit up over here, get on their knees and beg for a title shot. Or if they're not getting on their knees begging for a title shot, they hoping that they can throw fucking pity patties on social media and say how this fighter's ducking them, that fighter's ducking them, how these promoters can't do this, they can't do that. So you leaving promoters and then you're going up over here, you're dick hopping. Sit your ass down somewhere. Reevaluate your goddamn career and put it in your own hands. You can't be going around here talking about some, well, I'm just a boxer and you need to go talk to this guy and this guy. Yeah, I can see doing that if you have a certain contract and certain contract to where the promoters and the managers can't come to you. See what I'm saying? I can see if you have that type of contract with the promoter to where you say, hey man, you got to go through the certain avenues, but I would like to take that fight, but can you please go over there and holler up over him and we're going to try to make this fight happen. How many times we got to see these promoters? Well, was not a lot of promoters. We got a handful of promoters that rather put the fans versus fans on social media and lie about or insinuate that a fight ain't happening because of the other party. And then you want to have this war against promoters, promotional companies, management companies, because this guy rose with Anthony Joshua, or that guy rose with Dillian Whyte, or that guy rose with this guy. We got to butt heads. They playing us the motherfucking fool. They playing us the motherfucking fool. They ain't giving us ain't no broadcasting, ain't no broadcasters out here is stopping none of these goddamn fights. It's the promoters and the managers and these goddamn fighters out here. Because some of these fighters, they're greedy. They're greedy. They want everything from boxing fans, but don't want to put in work. You got more female boxers out here putting in more work than these male boxers out here, and they ain't getting half the goddamn pay. Ain't up over here crying about, oh yeah, she about to be the next pay-per-view star. She the next coming up. She's about to be a star and this and the third. You don't hear that shit. You don't hear that shit. How the motherfuckers with pancakes out here are the hardest motherfuckers in the block, and the motherfuckers with dingalings is the ones that sound like they got pancakes. How you supposed to be the pound for pound fighter on Ring Magazine when you ain't fight nobody? How you supposed to be number one, Dillian Whyte, in the WBC when you wasn't fighting nobody? When you literally gonna tell me if I was Dillian Whyte, I would have been licking my fucking chops the day fucking Dominic Brazil became the mandatory. I would have been on his ass. I would have paid him to fight. I would have paid him to fight out of my own goddamn purse to get that up off of him. Because it was too fucking easy. Too fucking easy. Why didn't I do that? Let's see. So you mean to tell me that the best course of action for Dillian Whyte in 2018 was to fight nobody, become a pay-per-view star? Was to fight nobody? Was to fight Lucas Brown over Dominic Brazil, the mandatory? What was Joseph Parker going to get? What What was Dillian Whyte beating? What was Dillian Whyte beating? Let me pull up the list real quick. Or blood boxing like to say the spreadsheet. Let me pull it up. You mean to tell me Dominic Brazil became the mandatory? What was Lucas Brown supposed to gain? How was these fighters? Lucas Brown, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora, Oscar Rivas. Well, Oscar Rivas, we're not gonna say Oscar Rivas because that's what got him that position. But anyways, Lucas Brown, Joseph Parker, and Derek Chisora. Those 3 fights. What was those going to do for my fucking career? What am I boxing for? I'm boxing to become a champion. I'm boxing so that becoming a champion, that's when everybody says the big bucks roll in, but that's not necessarily the case. Because even if you put it like this, Lucas Brown, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora did nothing for Dillian Whyte's career. He was already ranked number 1. So what was he going to do? The only main course of action for this dude was to fight Dominic Brazil, man. And you can't. I don't see how all these guys out here. Well, I know why. I've been trying to tell folks from day one that people are getting on Twitter, getting on social media, period, and getting paid to say the shit that they say. Or there's a fake ass account. They're spreading false narratives to keep these other fighters from getting known. They discrediting other fighters. They're discrediting fights already before they even made. People already insinuating out here that Deontay Wilder is going to lose again against Tyson Fury. But isn't it ironic that Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder both came into a fight looking the same, weak, sick, fatigue, all that shit. They didn't come in the fight like they last fought. They looked off, both of them. People gave Anthony Joshua the benefit of the doubt versus Andrew Ruiz the second fight. I even gave AJ the benefit of the doubt. I said, hey man, if he come in there like he's supposed to come in there, he's going to win this fight. If he don't, he's going to lose this fight. Now all of a sudden people see the way Deontay Wilder looked walking, his ring walk, his leg lifting up over the ropes. People literally that don't watch boxing is looking at Deontay Wilder and saying, this dude look off. Look like something wrong with him. Now all of a sudden, the ass whooping that Deontay Wilder received, because it was against Tyson Fury, in the second fight, is supposed to mean he's supposed to get written off and that the fight shouldn't happen, blah, 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 whoop, 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 and they need to just move on. What kind of fucking narrative is that? Whether or not you like it, whether or not I like it, the fight is going to fucking happen because there's a rematch clause. That's why. I don't subscribe to a lot of these bullshit ass narratives that people are out there, like bullshit ass narratives, like your boy that like to get his eyebrows arched, Patty Mayonnaise. See, Paulie knew he fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Paulie knew he fucked up. Yeah, people go out there and say, see, that's how black folks need to be, unapologetic, and this, and the third, blah, blah, woo, woo, woo. I don't care about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, apologizing to somebody don't mean shit. The actions of somebody always means the motherfucking most. This dude knew. This dude knew what he said was false. Let's take the racism out there for a second. Let's just put it in perspective. He knew the shit that was coming out of his mouth. He didn't research it. He didn't research it. He didn't validate it. He knew he was flat out fucking wrong. He tried to make a new fucking narrative. He tried to make the new status quo. He tried to make Eastern European fighters look better than the boxers that's been dominating the sport of boxing since white folks started letting black folks in, colored people in, period. He tried to rewrite history and he failed. Flat on his fuck. No, he didn't flat on his face. Well, yes, he did. After they kicked him square dead in his fucking narrow ass, he did a couple of fucking tumbles and landed straight on his fucking face. Slid on that motherfucker. That's the reason why, no matter what anybody wants to say, unapologetic racism, whatever, no matter what, at the end of the day, I can't see how nobody can sit up and say the shit was fucking dead ass wrong. I can't see how all these other commentators out there, all these other guys, even on the other side of the spectrum that don't work for Showtime or whatever, ain't trying to say that this dude is wrong. Dominating how? Coming out of the fucking amateurs with fucking 50 fights? And everybody know it? Everybody looking like, oh, everybody like, well, the guy that beat Deontay Wilder in the amateurs, why is he fucking still an amateur? Why is Deontay Wilder a pro fighter and this guy is still amateur? And about time Deontay Wilder to get his belt, this dude is still trying to figure out what he's supposed to figure out the feel of the heavyweight division when he was already a professional fighter as a motherfucking amateur and still getting his ass whooped. Ain't no way in hell you should be coming in the pros with 100, 200 motherfucking amateur fights in 2020. It's not the same from back in the days no more. You motherfuckers ain't having 30 fights, 50, 20, 30 fights in a month, 2 a days. All that shit. They ain't doing that shit like that. They may be having a few 2 a days here and there, but they ain't doing that shit like back in the days no more. And they for sure ain't doing the professional boxing like that no more. So what's taking these guys so long? Or he want to say, well, the Eastern European fighters, they're coming out of the amateurs more technically sound than black fighters. Yeah, because look how many amateur fights they have. No matter how you put it, a lot of these statements that these racists have in the sport of boxing or in sports in general, they're being let off the hook. They're being let off the hook. And the reason why they're being let off the hook, because the right people ain't checking them. The right people ain't checking these dudes. And it's been going on for far too long in the sport of boxing, baseball, football. You can't take a knee, but somebody could put up the Nazi salute and don't get fucking suspended. You can literally be a part of a racist organization, didn't get called out for it, but if you take a knee, you get suspended. Ben Roethlisberger can get so many motherfucking rape charges on his ass. Yeah, he got away, but never get suspended. How many times did motherfucker let Ryan Leaf off the fucking hook before they said enough is a motherfucking enough? How many times at a Boston Red Sox game, a player or a fan got to get called racist remarks before somebody ever says anything about it, even though the players themselves are crying out and speaking up against it? before somebody start taking this shit serious. See what I'm saying? This shit's been going on for too long. And then as soon as this motherfucking eyebrows arch Patty Mayonnaise motherfucker finally fucking makes a few remarks, but guess what? He probably didn't even get suspended for that. He probably didn't get kicked out for that. They probably kicked him out for something fucking else and don't want to say it. And those were probably just excuses on why they can justify firing the guy. Because I don't hold none of these networks and none of these promoters to a standard to where I know for a fact that this type of shit, this racism shit, will not be tolerated, and it will have zero tolerance towards it. I don't hold none of them, none of these motherfuckers up to a high standard to do the right thing like that. And I'm not going to sit here and insinuate that's the reason why they let them go. They can say whatever the fuck they want to on paper, on interviews. We've seen it with hundreds, thousands of black folks getting fired. And they say, well, we fired them because of this. Nah, that's you fired you. That's what you're saying. But that's not the reason why you fired them. That's just so y'all won't have no fucking lawsuit and get the pants swept up off your ass, your narrow ass. I don't hold none of these motherfuckers to a high standard like that. And I don't know why a lot of motherfuckers are doing that shit. You know? And this is just me. You know, if I know what I'm saying. I'm not saying this stuff to like say if you don't think like me, this, that, and the third. If that's your business. You see what I'm saying? That's your business. You know, you even got Akon out here saying that, you know, African Americans need to let go of slavery. They always holding on to it. That's what's holding them back, or whatever the fuck he said. Yeah, okay, Akon, you're doing a lot of things out there in the community, doing a lot of things out there in Africa, man. But you know, my brother, man, keep doing what you're doing, but you need to fall back. Straight up, you need to fall back. If that's how you feel, how about you give me my goddamn money? How about you give me and every other black person up over here they reparations, since America won't do it? How about you do that? Since you want to put your 2 cents, your 3 cents on some stuff like that, how about you give me my mother? How about you give us our goddamn money? How about that? You give us our reparations. How about that, homeboy? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we still seeing it. We still hearing motherfuckers saying about Congress, people that's in charge of making rules and regulations, saying that, oh, you know what? Racism was a necessary evil. You still got people winning local elections that are known racists. We have police departments that are ran by racist people. So what do you think they're doing in these communities? Oppressing them. If you was a racist and you're in office, what would you think? What would be your thought? I got these niggas all in check. Checkmate. I got them all motherfucking in check. And anytime any one of y'all motherfuckers get out of line, I'm wrecking house. And the first thing what they do is you get arrested. Oh, he had a criminal background. He had weed on him. He was reaching for something. And what does the police chief come out and say? Well, you know, the cop was fearful for his life. This is the third. He was charged back 10 years ago for marijuana, shoplifting, beating somebody's ass that deserved it. Doesn't make any sense, do it? But look at Polly Mayonnaise. Racial oppression doesn't go on in 2020. How many equal opportunity in the workplace has people filed in 2020? Thousands. You got people out here even passing laws to where it's okay for an employer to not hire you because you got locks. It's okay for an employer to fire you because your hair looks too eccentric. Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? It's okay to lock somebody up for having weed on them for 20 years. It's okay to lock a chick up that's getting raped by her pimp for 20 years for killing them. It's okay to run up in somebody's house without with the wrong warrant because the guy was already arrested, no knock warrant, the guy not there, and blast everybody in the house. It's okay to do a no knock warrant, throw a flashbang into a baby motherfucking bed, blow the baby up, main that baby for life, but it's okay. It's okay to sweep under a rug that a guy is jogging down the street getting accosted by people with fucking guns, and then say, oh, it's his fault for trying to protect himself. It's okay to shoot a kid walking with fucking Skittles and a motherfucking Arizona iced tea by some overzealous neighborhood fucking watch that don't get no pussy, that thinks that it's okay to finally feel like he has the need to put on a Superman cape and gun a teenager down. And they justifying it. They justifying this shit. And I don't see how anybody can believe the words from a Patty Mayonnaise that took the same shit that Sheriff David Clark said and regurgitated. Ain't no such thing as racial oppression in 2020. Nobody's getting arrested because they're black anymore. No, nobody's getting arrested like that. Oh, let's put it like this. Floyd, a man that's literally sitting up over there, his friends say he's having a mental case right now. Don't treat it as a mental case and snuff the guy out under your own weight, under the long extent of the law, the weight of the law. You can't tell me that these cops, some of these cops, not all of them, aren't walking around here like they're fucking Judge Dredd, the jury and the motherfucking executioner. Nobody can't tell me that shit. I'm kind of parched, man. This Guinness is good though. I know I only got one or two people out there watching, but if y'all got something to add to this, y'all could go right ahead. But like I said, man, I ain't with that shit. You know, like I said, man, I'm not trying to bash Akon or anything like that. I'm just telling him like he just dead ass wrong with what he had to say. Like I said, I wish that dude the best and all his endeavors and stuff like that. But I'm not going to sit up over here and call him a coon. Because at the end of the day, you know, rather he's one of us. At the end of the day, he's one of us, and we need to make sure that, you know, we take care of us. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody else is. You know what I'm saying? And there's too many black folks out there that's giving up their money, their time and effort. That ain't worth putting themselves first. They putting other people first before them. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, people get stuff wrong. They say things wrong, and or they may think that what they saying is right, but it's up to us to check them when they're wrong, and not sit up over here and vilify them and try to get people to ostracize them when we should be making sure that they do the right thing. Now, there's some people out here that just can't be helped. And that just can't be helped. And when the time is right, they're gonna be like we see it all the time, Stormy B, man. We see it all the time. People get a nigga wake-up call. They get that wake-up call. You know what I'm saying? Now, when they get that call, it's a hard thing to say. Now we should bring them on in and stuff like that and help them out. I think that when people do get that nigga wake-up call, they should be under evaluation. We see it too often. People come up over here with channels in the LDBC, they get their subs up and they run. There should be an evaluation period before you get put back into the fold. That Kamala Harris chick, she's going to get that nigga wake-up call one of these days. Yeah, we know we heard rumors about her talking about she's going to be the first Indian American to get this or get that. But as far as I know about India, they got a caste system out there. And you ain't on it. You don't make the cut. Yeah, you could probably make the cut because you made it somewhere. But at the end of the day, you're not, guess what? One of them. They treat their own people that look darker than them different. What makes you think that you're not going to be treated different? Because at the end of the day, they're still going to give you your nigga wake-up call. As soon as you don't do something for them, as soon as you say something off, see what I'm saying? You're no longer going to be on the team. And Dr. Strange, him as well. Sheriff David Clark. Now, and that's brother right there. I don't think he could ever be helped because he already got his nigga wake-up call. How many times did that brother get fired? How many times he got fired? Huh? Knowing damn well he bootlicking? I can count at least 3, and he still got a job. But he gonna get fired for that one. And at the same time is he doing all that bootlicking. Every night he going up there to warm massa bed up. Cause you know them type of dudes, they like them man butts. Going up there, you're gonna go up there and warm massa bed up just to get fired. And just for them to say you a traitor to your own race. So what kind of shit is that? I don't care if it's electroshock therapy. I don't think that brother can switch the way his mind thinks. He's a lifer. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, Stormy B, man, that call is never too late. Never too late. Look at Bill Cosby. Pull your pants up and this and the third. I'm like, yeah, he kind of is right, y'all. That shit is gay. Like, I don't want to see grown men's asses. He was saying some good stuff, but at the same time, as then it came to find out that he fucking all these goddamn hoes. Whether or not it was willing or unwillingly, we're not going to get into that. But he out there fucking these hoes. Then he get his call. And then, most of all, his calling came when he's a senior citizen, barely could see, and he get locked up. And then he see all these goddamn pedophiles and these rapists, people that did far worse crimes than him, get let off because of COVID. Ain't that something? I can't even call you Dr. Husband no more because they took that shit from you too. Can't even call you Dr. Cosby no more because they took that shit from you too. Matter of fact, they took your shit off the fucking air and locked your shit in a fucking vote that says do not open up. So what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? These people out here that want to come up. Like I said, man, I'm not saying this is about Akon. I'm just saying this generalization that we need to take care of ours because ain't nobody else gonna do it. We need to take care of ours. We need to take care of ourselves because ain't nobody else going to do it. See what I'm saying? Not the people that we put. We can't trust nobody to put them in office to do it for us, to do what they're supposed to do what we asked them to do what we voted for them to do. We can't even trust them to do the right thing. Spike Lee. We can't even trust a box. We can't even trust these people out here that their job is to give us news, even with boxing the correct way. Because guess what? They don't check themselves. They try to be so non-confrontational on TV. Don't want to tell somebody they wrong. Don't want to check them. Don't want to say, man, why you always hating on Wilder? Why you always hating on Spence? Why you always on Triple G's nuts? Why you always on Lomachenko's nuts? Why who the fuck is Tony Harrison? Why the fuck are you guys? Nobody's being checked. And then when somebody from YouTube who's helping to keep the sport alive ask you a good question, you want to act like a $5 hoe and eat all around the goddamn dick. What's up with that? All around the goddamn stem and shit, but they ain't worried about the goddamn tip. I don't understand this shit. It's been going on too far in boxing to people are allowing. There was an interview with John Fury. It wasn't even an interview. They had a camera on John Fury and Billy Joe Sanders talking to Sky Sports on how they should do articles for them. You should paint Tyson Fury that he's the best since sliced bread. Yeah, man. What about me? I'm Billy Dope Sanders. You should be doing the same for me too. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You mean to tell me that these guys ain't getting paid to write these articles for these jackasses? There's so much Tyson Fury propaganda out there, it's not even funny. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, just like these other guys, reminds me of what Nicki Minaj and Cardi B is doing. They're keeping their face in the public. 20, 30 tweets a day. They're keeping their face in the public. They're pushing their narrative every day. Damn near on the fucking hour. Keeping themselves relevant. Always got something to say about somebody else. Same thing with Edward Hearn. Always got to say about somebody else's fucking fight. Can't tell nobody good luck. Can't tell nobody, can't even insinuate that somebody else's shit is going to be good. Can't even give another promoter or another fighter the benefit of the doubt unless they work with you. Then you're gonna go up over there to I'm gonna get with David Higgin and we're gonna try to have this fight in New Zealand. He's gonna do the same thing that he's done in all these other countries. It's gonna be the same fucking blueprint. The same fucking blueprint. The same shit that ain't gonna work here is definitely for sure ain't gonna work in New Zealand. They don't want to hear about no takeover shit. They don't want to hear about nobody coming up over there giving them fights of fighters that they don't want to see. They don't want to hear about that shit. There's fights over there in New Zealand that they want to watch. The local fights in New Zealand. There's fights they want to watch over there. They don't want to see all them UK folks come up over there and having fights and stuff like that all the fucking goddamn time. Ain't nobody gonna buy that shit. Starting B-Man saying, then all old media bitches complain, then we get real scoops and stories. Yeah, we get real scoops and stories. Then they complain about YouTube media. They complain about YouTube. You had YouTubers complaining about other folks on YouTube getting all the work because they've been putting in the most work. They ain't been given the rights to do exclusive interviews like the way you've been getting them through your promotional contracts. They've been spending their own fucking dime to go to people's fight camps. They've been spending their own fucking dimes to travel all out throughout the fucking whole world, whether or not it's from the proceeds that they get from social media or the proceeds that they get from working multiple jobs. As far as I can see, as far as when it comes to the people out there on the front lines, Peter Parker in it, you might as well call Blue Blood Sports TV the James Brown of the shit. The hardest man in the business. I seen that brother work 2-3 jobs in one day. On live. Seen that brother work 2-3 jobs in one fucking day. Throughout the fucking whole fucking week. Busting his ass. So he can make sure home is taken care of. So he can go up over here and give the fans, boxing fans, the shit that he feels that people want to see. And guess what? He ain't never gave me nothing I didn't want to see. A guy that you can literally contact, that you can literally fucking talk to, can go up over there and give you content, and you can talk to him. He's not all high and mighty and shit like that. Oh, what's your YouTube name? Oh, no, I don't fuck with you. How many subscribers you got? Oh, no, I can't fuck with you. You see what I'm saying? These MTK Global guys and all them cats out there, they ain't trying to talk to your ass. They ain't not trying to give you the time of day. They too busy eating pizza, sitting down in the hotel room, racking bills up for Edward Hearn. He even said it. 500 pounds. Edward Hearn said, food bills in the hotel room. From the amount of pizza these fat, slobby ass eating motherfuckers, out of shape motherfuckers is eating. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can't, how you want to listen to. And then guess what? You mean to tell me that everything that comes out of somebody's mouth, you got to like on YouTube? You can voice your fucking opinion respectfully. You don't got to like what everything what somebody says. You don't. The only thing you got to respect is the genuine hustle that people are giving you. Genuine. They're being genuine. You can't get no better than that. You could go on anybody's, I don't care whose channel it fucking is. Go to somebody's channel that's pro Matchroom. That's pro Tyson Fury. Right? Going up over there and see how they're going to sound. You're going to be like, damn, I even know that you left out this. You left out this, but what about this? What about that? They have so many fucking holes in their game, it ain't even fucking funny. So many holes in their game, it's not even fucking funny. But you're supposed to agree with those guys 100%. Just so you can stay within the fold. Those guys who do that shit, they can't backtrack on none of the shit they said. They can't insinuate that Fury did something wrong, AJ did something wrong, Dillian Whyte did something wrong on their YouTube channel because they had loose subs. I seen Sporting Icons make a video crying about the shit that he said about Anthony Joshua, about how much subs he lost overnight. Contemplating leaving YouTube because of what? Because of somebody didn't like with the one thing he didn't like. One thing he said they didn't like. Doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna get up out of here. Catch some of this retro live. Retro Sports and Documentaries is live. I believe Blue Blood Sports TV is live. So I'm gonna go on up over there and check those guys out. I hope you guys go out there and check them out too. Make sure you guys go out there and subscribe to Laws Dawkins. That's my homeboy. Make sure you go over there and subscribe to Stormy B Man. P Boxing. He got him a nice little channel. Make sure you guys go out there and subscribe to them. And hope to catch you guys soon. And peace.